Good morning, wonderful children.
City card.
What are you gonna do with that, Taji?
No.
You've been drawing? What have you been drawing here? What's on this?
Yeah.
Dogs?
Yeah.
What? The dogs? What are they doing?
Poop.
Oh, they're pooping?
What does the card say? Poop.
The cars are pooping too. Hold on. The dogs and the cars are pooping?
You can... Tootsie was a monster or not? What are you doing? Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, this is what happens. I'm trying to make an impromptu video for you guys, and I'm going to cover a few topics. Okay, I don't need all too much noise in the background. Thank you. I'm going to Tootsie and the car. Both cool on for a second. This is supposed to be an introduction. I'm going to make a quick little video here addressing some questions, a little Q&A, addressing those questions about ethics, about what I would do if my kids stopped eating a vegan diet. What do I think about Tim Shieff stopping his vegan diet or going off his vegan diet? What I think about animals being equal to humans or plants being equal to humans. Who's got the right of way there? Cut it out. And a couple of, and we also addressed a couple other questions. So tune in, enjoy this video.
Deer is awesome because they eat they're vegan.
And deer are awesome. I wanted to express gratitude for getting some of the best messages I ever get. When I open an email, for instance, this one from Christy, she sent an email expressing she had tears of joy, just gratitude, overwhelmed with gratitude of, I guess, the influence our family and the videos have had on her. And she's getting her health together. She's got an underactive thyroid, but she's getting healthier, and the family's moving along with her. Honestly, that's why I do this, is to have an impact in the world and help people get healthier. And it brightens my day to get messages like that. So thank you, Christy. Yeah, thank you, Taji. Thank you, anyone who sends those gratitudes, whether it's from letting me know how a YouTube video affected you, or a picture, or a recipe. I really do appreciate those, and they help inspire me to keep making videos. So let's get right into it, Tootsie. I got a list here of things I wanted to respond to. So I'm saying so a lot. Maybe that'll happen in these uncut videos. So I made a video yesterday where I explained my opinion as to why veganism is more ethical than any other dietary pattern. That video occasioned some questions and some feedback, which I'm happy to respond to. It's my opinion. I don't like to play the right and wrong game. I know a lot of those comments were talking about right and wrong. I don't think in that video I ever mentioned being right or wrong. I said more ethical, and I defined what I meant by ethical. I have 3 different terms. One was doing the least harm possible. One was giving the animals the most rights. The other was respecting the environment. And so on those 3 points, I still stand by it strongly that veganism is the best option. It's the most ethical option. Now, to these concerns. Marcus had asked, or said I was wrong because, well, predators are ethical as herbivores. I agree. Predators are as ethical as herbivores. We have no disagreement there. And that wasn't Marcus, I apologize. That was all AstroTurf who said that. And I think that plants are beings. They're a fantastic form of life. Life is life. Yet if we're going, and at that same point, whoa. And at the same time, I still see a stark difference between a blade of grass and a tuani here, or a dog, or a cow. They're different forms of life, and one takes a lot more time to develop, energy, resources to develop. And so, yes, to me it makes sense, and we're doing less harm, we're being more ethical when we consume things that are lower on the food chain, more plant material. Again, I'm not discounting the value of plants, I'm not discounting the life of plants. I'm saying if we're trying to conserve life, then we want to eat plants comparatively to eating animals. It's okay, Tutu, thank you. For me? Is there a picture for me? The cars? Oh, I need to draw a car? Okay, Tutu, will you hold the camera for me for a second? Draw a car. Here, let me draw a car. Car time. Is this car pooping? No, dogs poop. Cars don't poop.
Dog.
Yeah.
Dog.
You want a dog in the car?
Poop. Dog. Dog.
A dog gotta be pooping? In the car. In the car?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know about that. A
Dog.
dog pooping in the car. Hopefully that answers the question. Predators are equally as ethical as, herbivores, but humans have the choice of being a predator or an herbivore, and so for us, the most ethical choice is to be an herbivore. Next question was from Dave Charette, and he had asked, I think he just made the point that, and I don't think I ever said that in the video, but he said that veganism isn't inherently healthy. Just because you're vegan does not mean you're healthy. I agree. There are 100 ways you can be vegan and not be healthy. That's even why I made a long-form webinar. You can find a link below where I speak for 45 minutes on how to eat a healthy vegan diet. Supplementation, what supplementation is necessary, what's not necessary, whole food versus refined foods, whether you're eating high carbohydrate, low carbohydrate, getting all the phytonutrients in. So yes, veganism must be done intelligently. Apparently I have a little whistle blower. This is going to be tricky to do with that. So can you try, you can draw, but I can't do it with the whistle blower. Can we take a break for a little bit? Go in the other room? Yes, I'm taking a break for a little bit. Pardon that interruption, but hopefully I answered your question, Dave. We're on the same page there. Yes, veganism is not inherently healthy, but veganism is part of being healthy. And veganism can be healthy, so then veganism must be the option. If you can be healthy on a vegan diet, on a plant-based diet, then ethically speaking, that ought to be the way to go. The next question came from Marcus, who had said that plants are beings, and I agree on that point. As I said earlier, I've already fully acquiesced that point. Plants are beings. I'm not even trying to equate them higher than me or higher than cows or any other life form, but we're definitely consuming more plants when we consume animals, because plants are consumed by animals. So we have to still go towards the lowest on the food chain, which is going to be plants. That's, even if everything's equally life, the least resource, the least amount of plants, the least amount of life is going to be a plant-based diet. And so I guess we agree there, Marcus? And at the other point you had said what did he say? He said modern hunters and gatherers are more ethical than California vegans. And I don't know exactly what he means by this. I'll speak to it as what I could take it to be, as California being the fake type thing, eating, more processed foods, tofu, things of that nature. If we're eating a high processed food diet, yeah, veganism can be quite unhealthy. We're shipping food from far away, and if we're having it packaged and processed, debunched, of course, you can eat a really unhealthy vegan diet, and someone who's living on a local farm, having fruit trees, potatoes, and that person occasionally goes out and hunts, that person's actually going to probably be more ethical in many ways, doing less harm. That said, that doesn't make an excuse for not being able to do it vegan and do it in a healthy way. Just because someone else is doing it in an unhealthy form of vegan or in a less resource conscious form of veganism doesn't mean that the concept is wrong. Plant-based diet is still quite ethical. Plant-based diet is still quite viable, and so it's still the way to go. The grass-fed beef, as I covered in the video, isn't doing us a favor as far as environmental resources. It's still killing animals. And so, for me, I'm definitely favoring the fruit trees over, trying to make the argument that a forest full of fruit trees is somehow less beneficial to plant life, animal life, human life, as far as the oxygen and forest and food production, compared to a field with cows grazing on it. The forest is going to win out every single time. To answer the last question from that video right now, it's only been out for a day, but maybe I'll address more of these in another video. I'm going to keep doing these videos if you care for them. Please let me know in the comment section if you do want me to make these kind of impromptu. I'm not going to edit much in these videos, but I'll put out my opinion, put out my message. You can see a cute face from a kid every once in a while. So just let me know if you want me to keep doing these videos. Put in the message below. These are pretty easy for me to do. And I can address common topics and pertinent topics as well. The other question someone had asked on that video was, what if my kids stopped eating vegan at some point? Ooh, good question. Guess what? I could live with it. My karma is my karma. And when I'm talking about Tim Shieff in the next little bit here, it's the same thing applies. Our decisions are our decisions, and we have to live with them. And so I'm doing the best I can as a parent, giving a plant-based message and starting my kids off as a vegan. As parents, we do the best we can, set the best example, and then our kids go off and do what they will. Parents demonstrate peaceful communication, kids can go off and be rude if they like. They still have the freedom. If you ask me, like, how would I feel about it? I'd probably feel disappointed. I'm not saying I'd be, like, happy about it, but at the same time, I'm sure we have a conversation about it, and I have friends who, and this is why I talked about that my only form of excuse, and this almost segues nicely into talking about Tim Shieff. I actually have room for that excuse in my world. Someone who thinks they need animals, who thinks they need to eat animals to be healthy, how can I fault them? I can fault their thinking. I can think they may be off. I can think they may be incorrect. I can think they may be misguided, maybe, erroneous. But I don't profess to know all. I really don't. This works really well for me. I found it. It makes perfect sense. And so I apply it, and it works well. I'm not actually tied to it personally. I'm quite tied to it morally. And it would be hard for me to find myself falling apart and need to try something else. I'd probably try so many different things. Well, I guess I'll talk about that specifically now. We've gone on to talking about Tim here. And so I've addressed what I do with my kids. We talk about it. I could live with it. I would prefer they wouldn't. I have a hard time imagining, just based upon their temperaments now, how they could go to eating McDonald's or forgetting about the ethics of eating animal. They would be far more respectful. They would treat it like a condiment, treat it like a supplement. And that is the other part of my okay in my head, as far as having an excuse space for people wanting to eat animals, or I shouldn't say wanting, needing. It has to be a need. They have to either be out in the wilderness where there's no other food source, they don't know how to get other food source, they don't recognize other foods, and so they go after an animal. To me, that's acceptable. They're trying to keep themselves alive. At that point, it's either the animal or them. I'm not going to favor the animal or them per se. It's just kind of an equal. Whoever turns out to win out, I guess, I'm not even that humanistic in that regard. The human can win or the animal can win, right? I mean, on an ethics side, we can't really argue that. If the human takes the animal's life so he can survive, did he really do anything wrong? In my book, I have a hard time chalking up any negative to the human there. So that's just my view on that. I understand you might disagree on that. And outside of that being stuck in the wilderness scenario, the need has to be, I suppose, internally thought to be a need. You have to think that humans need to eat animals. And if someone has that thought and that understanding, I'm working to try to correct that or explain it. And even for myself, I'm trying to explain what seems to be genuine confusion and genuine problems where people say they have a problem with a vegan diet. From their perspective, I want to at least honor the fact that they're probably being truthful in saying that they're having a problem. Yes, all the vegans know that we've been infiltrated by many people who were said they were vegan and were just to disparage the vegan message. They said we were vegan and it didn't work for us. That's not the case with Tim, and that's not the case with. I have a friend who, as well. I don't get that impression that's the case with him, and maybe some other of us know other people who tried vegan in a very wholehearted, earnest attempt and didn't find it to be successful. I really am curious about that as far as the human health aspects and what's really going on there. I still don't think we need to eat animals. I still think it'd be better off to meat it in supplementation. But if someone needs to eat animals or thinks they need, if Tim thinks he needs to eat animals, then I'm sure he's going to treat it like a supplement. I'm sure, as he mentioned, he's going to go eat eggs from chickens who don't care about those eggs. Those are just eggs that are being thrown away anyway. He can experiment that way, treat it like a supplement, honor the life of the animal. For me, I'm still going to keep rocking the vegan lifestyle as long as I keep feeling fantastic. For my kids, I told you earlier, this is something I'm committed to. I would actually give them animal foods if I somehow thought they needed it. I haven't seen a need for it, but I am open to that. I've investigated so many of these horrible comments people leave on my page, or at least they don't word them in a very eloquent or caring manner. I take them as a caring thought, and I take them as a concern. And if it's not something I've researched before, I want to look it up. I'm not doing this to be right. I want to just be healthy, and I want to do, I guess, right by my children. I want to do healthy for them. So, and ultimately, I want to be a vegan, which for me means doing the least harm possible. My cat needs to eat animals, and so I don't want my cat to be some fat cat, because that means he's eating more animals than he would need. Same goes for humans. If somehow we think we need to do it, please do it in the least amount possible. I think I addressed everything. This is kind of a new format for me. Was there rambling? Go ahead, Susie. What do you say? You can say whatever you want to say. I'm not going to stop you. You can talk about anything. You can talk about how awesome horses are. You saw a bunch of horses. You want to talk about how awesome horses are? We saw horses on our hike yesterday. I have another message for Tim, though. I'm just realizing this. So, Tim, I really appreciate Tim. I feel a brotherly connection to Tim. We got on really well at the Woodstock Fruit Festival when we met, and it just got a cool vibe. So I appreciate Tim, and I personally believe that Tim is earnestly, obviously not in the best of health, and was trying to find ways to go about improving his health. I want to toss this reminder out for all of us that, as Tim also, thank you, Tim, for mentioning that health is not just diet. So just because your health's going wrong doesn't mean you always have to look to diet. I talk about the 33 elements of health. Feel free to check over that list and figure out what's lowest, because if your friendships are low, if your self-esteem, if your social connections are low, if your emotional poise is low, your sleep is poor, there's so many other aspects of health besides diet that it's wise to look into those, especially if you're trying or thinking about going off a vegan diet at that point. Definitely make sure you've checked all the other aspects of health and check your bases. To that end as well, I just want to end this kind of saying, I if I may, Tim should have no need for apologies. If I may just finish this video. Tim should have no need for apologies. Anyone who thinks they need to eat animals after trying a vegan diet and you earnestly understood the ethics of veganism, I don't personally think you need to you don't need to feel the need for apology, and you don't definitely need to say apology out loud. You're doing your best. Thank you for being honest and sharing that message and that journey. And as I said, each of us have our own karma to live with. So let's just keep encouraging each other to do the least harm possible. That's veganism. And do the best we can. That's all we can do. That's all any of us can ask of each other. So thank you all for putting up with me doing the best I can with making this video here impromptu. What's so awesome? You just say it. Say it. Horses are awesome. Just 2 feet. I don't know why you're acting so funny. Talking to my nose? Say it. Go ahead, say it. What do you say?
Horses is awesome because they eat grass.
Horses are awesome because they eat grass. Well, thank you all for watching. Like I said, I'll keep making more videos. Let me know if you like it in the comment section below. Feel free to check out that webinar. There's a sale on it. We're doing a sale for reaching 25,000 followers. So you can get our recipe books, $10 a piece, or $20 for the combination. As I mentioned, the webinar, How to Be a Healthy Vegan, lays it out, all the aspects, supplementation, concerns about deficiency, how to plan out your meals, examples of meals, all those concerns, and really exact example of how I'm living and how I have my clients model. And as well, you can keep clapping, Tootsie, because the sales keep going. And as well, there's a discount on coaching as well. So if you want to get coaching, I've taken it down from $300 a month to $200 a month. I'm trying to fill up my clientele and have a good run of this month. So if you want to get healthy as we're going into the holiday season, check out the coaching link below. Again, thanks for watching, family.